Crowns the year with His goodness. 2012. Yes, many people say things about 2012. People talk about the Mayan calendar. People talk about so many disasters. People talk about poverty. People talk about financial crisis. People talk about how stocks and shares are going to crash. People talk about hurricanes. People talk about tsunamis. People talk about death, multitudes are dying. People talk about nations rising up, leadership being changed. But God has personally revealed to me that 2012 is going to be a year of a double portion. A year of double portion. In the book of Zechariah, chapter 9, verse 12, God says, there are prisoners of hope. People who believe that God would break their chains. People who believe that God would give them favor and breakthrough. For such people, God has prepared a double portion. Wherever you are, if you are a believer and if you believe that God has prepared things for you, I want you to prepare to possess a double portion. My brother, my sister, when we look at the whole world, now I live in the US. Now in the US, so many people are discouraged. People are asking this question, what's going to happen in the next elections? Who's going to be the next president? Is he going to turn around the financial crisis? What about properties, houses, jobs? It's a big question mark. I want to share certain things which God has shown me about nations, beginning from United States. Right now, as a servant of God, I can see how President Obama and Hillary Clinton and few others, their position will become much stronger than before. Much stronger than before. As they look at the elections, they will be much stronger than many other candidates. We will see things rise up. The year will begin with a lot of hope, a lot of promises, particularly in America. Many promises will be made by the politicians. But I see right about the end of June, July, there will be a major financial crisis. A major financial crisis. The dollar, the power of the dollar will decrease. It will be devalued and it will be shocking. It will rock the whole nation. Many people will lose jobs. Many people will lose their houses. Particularly people who have jobs and people who are retired, pensioners. They need to prepare. They need to prepare to receive a double portion because the government policies will not be able to help them. There will be a major crash beginning from the end of June, July. It will take time to recover. So what will happen? Many other people from around the world will come and they will start investing in America. Houses, properties, businesses, banks, huge companies will be bought out. We will see that happening in America. We will also see a lot of natural disasters, particularly in the West. Particularly in the West. There will be more fires. There will be earthquakes. There will be shaking of certain cities. There will also be loss of lives. There will be loss of lives. There will be an unusual shaking of the nation. There will be tornadoes. There will be hurricanes. And these things will occur more frequently than before. God is going to shake America. The third thing, there will be a huge liberalism. America will become more liberal, more and more liberal. I see a lot of young children becoming pregnant. A lot of people, young people going into drugs. There will be a lot of discouragement. People will not know what to do. People will not know how to do. The fourth thing I see, all the troops will be called back. Even from Afghanistan, troops will be called back because America will have to make peace with many other organizations and many countries, particularly Islamic countries, because otherwise the safety of this country will be threatened. So all the troops will be called back. Many other people will try to invest in America. Another major thing which will happen in America is the Jews in America will begin to leave America to Israel. They will begin to leave. So We will see these things happen in America. I'm sharing this because you and me need to pray. God says He's prepared a double portion. We have to possess the double portion. Things will change in America. Financial situations will change. Many things will be lost. But God says, for those who believe in Him and those who want to possess a double portion, He is willing to release that double portion into their life. Have faith. Have faith. Pray for America. About Europe, many more countries will collapse. Turkey will collapse very soon. Turkey will collapse very soon. Even Spain will begin to shake. Many things will begin to happen in Spain. Many countries in Europe, they will be shaken. Financially, they will be shaken. Many leadership will change. You cannot restore Europe. Many European countries will start making agreements with China. China will become a superpower, a super force. And China will step into these countries to rescue these countries. So euro will also, the value of euro will go down. God is shaking Europe. But in Europe, racism will rise up. Racism will rise up because job opportunities will become less and less and less. Job opportunities will become lesser. But people will become more atheistic. They will refuse to believe in God. They will refuse to believe in the works of God because people will be discouraged. You will see these things happening in Europe. The strength of Europe will diminish. Europe will go down. The euro will go down. Looking at Asia, China will emerge as a superpower. Japan will have many more earthquakes. Japan will have more tsunamis. China will step into Japan to help Japan. China will also step into many other Asian countries. In a country like Indonesia, Indonesia will boom in trade. Indonesia will boom in properties, but there will also be earthquakes. There will be earthquakes, there will be tsunamis. China will step in. China will step into many countries as a rescuer. So people will look at China as a leader, as an elder brother. So China will emerge as a superpower. But China will slowly sever ties with United States. China will wait for US to go down. Trade ties will slowly be severed. And the relationship will also become difficult between China and US. My brother, my sister, we need to pray. We need to pray against these things. In India, there will be prosperity, but there will also be persecution of Christians. Churches will be burned down. It will happen systematically. It will happen systematically. In India, trade will develop. A lot of Indians will go back from Western nations. They will go back to India because opportunities in India will rise up. But Christians, many people will come to know the Lord, but there will be persecution in India. Even in India, there will be earthquakes. There will be earthquakes and there will be hurricanes. Coming to Australia, on one side there will be prosperity, but there will be typhoons and hurricanes. There will be excessive rain, and even the ocean will come into cities. I see this happening in New South Wales. I see this happening in Queensland. God is going to shake these states. And there will come a time when the Australian dollar will dip. It will become very low. It will become very low, and then it will recover. But there will be a lot of political changes. In the political realm of Australia, there will be many changes. Coming to the Middle East, most of the countries in the Middle East, the present leadership will be challenged. The monarchy will be challenged, particularly countries like Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi. In all these countries, the monarchy will be challenged. People will talk so much about democracy, and there will be a huge wave and uprise of people talking about democracy. But there will be chaos, there will be unrest, and people will not have any hope. Many people will die, but they will not be able to establish any stable government. But during the season, militant people will rise up. They will try to run countries. I mean, many of the Islamic nations, the militant people, they will come into leadership and they will start running nations and they will indoctrinate, they will teach people to hate Israel. They will hate Israel. Palestine will become a separate entity. Very soon it will become a separate entity. So a lot of things will happen against Israel and we will be able to watch it and we'll be able to see it. About Africa, on one side, some countries in Africa will rise up. Many other countries will have plague. Things which we have never seen, unheard sicknesses, unheard plagues will come into Africa. More and more people will die. More and more people will die. But there will be a huge revival. Churches will overflow. All across Africa, people will come to know about Jesus. The power of Islam will be broken. Islam will diminish. Africa will rise up in a new way for the sake of the Lord. But many African leaders, they will rise up and they will cause a federation and they will become very strong and they will start running the affairs of Africa. My brother, my sister, coming into Israel, everybody is watching Israel. Israel will prepare for war. Israel will prepare to strike first. Israel will watch Iran. Israel will watch Iran. Israel will watch Turkey. And Israel will strike first. But there will be many supernatural things which begin to happen in Israel. People will begin to cry out to God for mercy. And we will see that happening. The Jews will also prepare to rebuild the temple. We will see that happening. A lot of Jews from the Western nations, they will go back to Israel. We will see this happening. My brother, my sister, country by country, a country like New Zealand will have more earthquakes. Christchurch, so many people will leave Christchurch, but Wellington will be shaken. Wellington will be shaken. Wellington, the ocean will come into Wellington. There will be an unusual thing happening in Wellington. The church needs to pray against these things. The church needs to rise up. South America, Brazil, Argentina, all the South American nations will rise up in trade, in economy, in business. There will be an unusual prosperity in the South American nations. Asia will become stronger and stronger and stronger. Australia, because of natural disasters, there will be a season where the dollar will go down. China will rise up as a superpower. But in the middle of the year, sometime in April, there will be certain things which happen in China, so that China's economy will go down. China's economy will go down, but they are prepared for that. They will soon recover. The Chinese will recover very soon. So China will again rise up in prosperity. There will be a dip sometime in April, May, but then China will recover. My brother, my sister, when we look at the countries, look at what God is doing. God has prepared a double portion for every nation, for every tongue, for every tribe. Some nations will go down. Europe will go down. America will go through difficult times. Canada, the next 2 years will be the golden years for Canada. Trade will increase. Every industry, oil, petroleum, minerals, metals, mining, real estate, all these things will rise up in Canada. Many Americans will go to Canada. Some countries will rise up. Some countries will go down. But I'm challenging myself and I'm challenging you. God says He's prepared a double portion for God's people. Time to possess a double portion. Time to possess a double portion. My brother, my sister, if you want to know more about these prophecies, please visit my website www.endtimeforerunners.org. Endtimeforerunners.org. We publish this. You can read through the whole thing and you can start praying for every country. God is raising a generation of people who will bring the will of God and the purposes of God